Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Live from Split, Croatia at Road Rage's house. This is Wisdom of the Sages, a daily yoga podcast, a daily spiritual podcast that makes ancient wisdom relevant today. I'm your host, Raghunath, with co-host and senior educator of the Bhakti Center in New York, Kastubha Das. Welcome to the show. This is episode 1346 here in beautiful Split. It's no kidding, 100 degrees. And we're here live with Alex from Sweden. Howdy, Bo. And Road Rage, and my son Tarun. Everybody else is at the beach.
I'm here.
And our executive co-producer and senior chef in the Columbia County, Mara. Welcome to the show. Someone criticized me yesterday. They said, you know what?
They didn't criticize
all this educator or senior educator and welcome to Raghunath's show, and you always neglect Mara. She's sitting right next to you, and I'm sick of it.
That wasn't exactly
And I was
how
like,
they weren't heavy at all.
They were super
Sweet.
Anyway, I was like, all right, I'm going to say it. Welcome to the show, Mara. How are you?
Thanks. I'm good.
You just have to have a regular thing to go in and, you know, something
we're
about
back.
that.
But before we're back, I just want to say Wisdom of the Sage is heading west and is holding a retreat for LA Rath Yatra at Veda Yoga in Los Angeles. The dates are August 2nd through August 4th. Well, 4th is the actual Rath Yatra festival. We're doing a workshop in the evening, kirtan, and then a workshop all day on the 3rd. But if you're going to LA or if you're thinking of a good reason to go, come on down, hang with us. Mika, Stuba, and Mara and Posse are going to be there. And LA Rath Yatra is quite wonderful. Also, tomorrow is the last day to sign up for Sage Group Session 7. So don't forget to check that out. You just go to wisdomofthesages.com. Boo.
I got
We made it back because Stuba's back, huh? You're back in the heat wave.
I'm back. Yeah, it's very hot here in New York, but it's nice, actually. It's kind of quiet.
It's not nice, but you're tolerant. That's what I've noticed about Kastubha. He's extremely tolerant. Last time I went over your house, it was like this. It was like 100 degrees or something. And you were sitting there peacefully, and I was like peeling off layers of clothing, sweating on your couch.
That was really hot.
And you're just like, oh, it's great out here.
The city's very quiet right now.
Yeah, because everyone's out of the city. Because they're
they split. They go to Split. They split to Split.
So anyway, we're just coming off a fantastic retreat. We just want to mention today is Walk on Thursday.
Before you go to Walk on
there.
Thursday, I want to just mention that speaking of the retreat, for our supporting members on wisdomofthesages.com, it's not just an ordinary website anymore, right? It's like you can become a supporting member, and then it literally unlocks all kinds of new stuff. Yeah. So for those supporting members, we put up so far 3 of our talks during the retreat. Some really nice stuff. You got some great stuff up there, Raghunath.
Do I?
Yeah. So there's 3 up there right now, and I think a 4th one is still coming.
Nice.
So that's the kind of unique stuff. You get some interesting talks. You know.
Yeah, maybe you jump the fence. You go from an unsupporting member to a supporting member.
Yeah. If you go up to supporting member, then
unsupporting member.
Well, don't have to give it any name. Just going from the neutral.
We're going to shame you into joining our club.
Not shame, entice with all kinds of quality content.
Quality goodies for you.
Yeah.
But anyway, anything you want to share? We just came off this wonderful retreat.
It was one, I went down, my health went down, now
got sick.
Late in the game, now I found out it was the Rona, taking the Rona right now. Still testing positive.
Man.
I don't know why am I called a spreader when like someone spread it to me? Can I be the victim in this equation?
Can I play victim into? Anyway, it was a great day, and you know what? We really ended it in style that last day. We went to McKelly, who's a regular listener of ours, and his beautiful estate, literally across the street from Villa Vrindavan. And Radhika Ranjan had a group there, and our group went there, and we had this beautiful feast, kirtan, dance party. Check out our Instagrams. We posted a bunch of these.
That villa, Casa Vecchia. That place is so beautiful. It's almost like, no, 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 this is not real. What's going on here? Like, I'm going to turn around, I'm going to walk away because
It's like a
it's
painting.
it's only belonged. I thought it only existed like, like on packages of pasta or bottles of olive oil or something like that. Like that scene is just
That's
like
what it looks like.
insanely beautiful there.
And if you've
It was a
never been to
wonderful
Europe,
evening.
which some of the people haven't been to Europe, that's the way to go. They go there in style. And we're just working on our dates for next year. But I will say, coming together and meeting all the people that you only see on Zoom is unbelievable.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
And
Good connections, good relation, lifelong. You see, so many people keep coming back, and you see that they've developed strong friendships, even across, nations and oceans and so on.
it's quite beautiful.
Yeah,
Some people even fell in love.
yeah, that does happen too. I saw it going on. I was watching. I could see.
So anyway, that was great. And let's bring on Radhikesh. Radhikesh is offering something on our new website, a course. Radhikesh, welcome to the show, Prabhu.
Hare
Case.
Krishna to
Right.
both of you. Hare Krishna to everyone. And
Welcome.
Hare Krishna to Mara, especially your co-host.
Yeah.
Radhikesh is a very, very empowered astrologer, good friend of ours. And he's about to do a course. He's been on our podcast a couple times. We've done interviews with him. Very learned, incredible story.
Fascinating life story.
Fascinating life story. He's got an incredible family, beautiful family. They live in Alachua, and he's about to do a course. What's the course called?
So the course, first of all, I'm just grateful to both of you for all the work that you're doing. You're spreading Krishna consciousness and this wisdom so powerfully across the entire world. I talk to people every day, and they tell me that like you guys are like a lifeline for them, an oasis in the desert where there's nothing else around. I spoke to this gentleman in New Zealand yesterday, a small town in New Zealand, and he's like, literally the only thing keeping him going in his life is listening to wisdom of the sages. So the work you guys are doing is just so incredible, and all of us, everybody out here is so grateful and appreciative for what you are doing. So thank you for making that strong effort all the time.
Radhikesh, you always see the good. Thank you.
We're all in this together, We're all in this together.
Yeah.
So Radhikesh, besides being a very nice devotee and a nice father and a nice husband, he's got such a great story. You can go back. We've interviewed him twice on our podcast, but now he's going to do a course for our what do we call them now? Subscribers, supporting members,
Supporting members.
For your
What's the course? What's the course called?
So the course is called Understanding and Deepening Your Relationship Through Astrology.
Okay.
So this is it's for people who are thinking about getting into a relationship. They're in a relationship. They've been married for 20 years or 30 years. Anybody who's on that path, of being in a relationship or understanding and deepening who they are in that relationship. So through, astrology can see all the different aspects of what's going on in your life. And one of the biggest kind of hurdles people run into are relationship problems. And one of the biggest sources of strength for people can be a strong and solid relationship for their material life, for their spiritual life, for all of that. So this course, is going to help people understand, number one, who they are, who their partner is, what's the things that connect the two of you together, what's the things that bring you apart. So how you can maximize the benefits of that relationship. So, how you can both be fully empowered and deepened in that relationship, how you can both be kind of 100% grow in that relationship and grow at every level, grow in your material life, grow in your emotional connection, grow in your spiritual connection and growth with each other, and in your relationships with Krishna, and be able to kind of fully support each other in that journey. So this, after, years and years of seeing people struggle with this, this type of thing, and where people are successful in it, it really empowers them in their spiritual relationship with Krishna.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yes, bro.
So I think when a lot of people hear about astrology and they hear about relationships, I think the first thing that comes to mind to most people is maybe a simplistic or completely invalid kind of misunderstanding of astrology, where it's like, oh, what's your sign? Oh, this is my sign. Oh, we're meant to be together. We're not
Sure.
meant to be together. Some real,
Sure,
but
sure.
this is a real fascinating, powerful, ancient science, this Vedic astrology that you work with. Can you just, in a very quick way, just kind of explain how this might be a more mature, sophisticated kind of application?
Of course, of course. So, Prabhu, you are absolutely right. In the modern day, you'll see it in the movies, and somebody walks up to somebody in a bar and say, "Hey, what's your sign?" Like this,
Mhm.
this kind of thing. But no, it is not. It's not that simple. This is the very superficial Kali Yuga way of looking at things. So, your astrological chart is a map of your karma. It's who you are in many ways. The modes of nature, the modes of passion, goodness, and ignorance, which can control a lot of things that happen in our life. Uh, you can see, and they're manifested through the planets. So when you look at all the planetary influences in a chart, you'll see that, okay, at this time in my life, I'm going in this direction. At this time in my life, this is going on. This is my deeper nature. These are, this is my physical nature, my mental nature, my spiritual nature. This is what attracts me spiritually. This is the type of partner I may need in my life. And you can see both the ups and downs of where
It,
that relationship comes.
I'm sorry.
Yes, Prabhu.
Finish your thought. Oh, finish your thought, Prabhu. I'm sorry.
So you can see both the ups and downs of where that relationship is going to come and how you get through those. So yes, this
Okay.
is understanding our karma at the deepest level, and through that, understanding our relationship with each other and our relationship with Krishna.
So it's shining some light on our potential strengths and weaknesses at any given time. And
Of course, of course. I do this uh, study where I talk about different famous people and
yeah.
how, where they've gone through, who are famous people who got divorced and why it happened and the good, all of that. And a lot of times in relationships, it's about, there's just a bad period. There's a bad year or a bad 6 months or something like that
Okay.
is going on.
You
And
can
if we
expect to
can,
be challenged at this point in time.
you can expect to be challenged. And if you can be patient and tolerant during that
Uh-huh.
time, you'll get through that
Okay.
wave that's coming,
Wow.
and then things will be peaceful again. So seeing all
Right.
of that can
So
be
it's not like
really
saying just
helpful.
go out and look for a Capricorn or something like that. It's
Oh, no, no, no. This is, yeah, Vedic astrology looks at much more at the moon sign and the rising sign. So the moon sign is your internal nature. The sun sign is, where in the modern world we're talking about, okay, you're born in December, you're a Capricorn, or all of this kind of stuff.
Mhm.
But Vedic astrology looks at things completely differently. And
Okay.
when you look at things at the deepest level, uh, it means a connection between two people can be at a much deeper level, and it creates a strong and solid foundation for a relationship. And when your grihastha life or your material life is solid and set, it creates a very kind of easy journey for us to move, strongly in our spiritual life.
And this course is not just like romantic love connections when you say
Not, not
relationships,
at all, not at all,
all
not
types of our relationships.
all types of relationships. This
Okay.
can be people who, you know, with your children, with your
Mm.
parents, with your siblings, with your friends. All of these relationships are included because in astrology, astrology, first of all, people who don't know, I want them to know astrology is in service to Krishna. What's the purpose of astrology? It's to help us understand our own karma and then to go deeper into our relationship with Krishna. It's one
Mhm.
of the limbs of bhakti. It's in the service of Krishna. So
Okay.
it's not something that is separate or devoid of bhakti. That this is very important to know.
That's why you want a nice astrologer like you helping you out with it, because you know the main thing. You keep the main, don't,
Yeah.
we don't want to get sidetracked, and you got a real good sense of how to apply it.
Mm.
Yes. Yes. So this is so any relationship you're in, because once you understand yourself, you understand your own karma, you understand, okay, why do I behave like this? And why is this happening in my life? all of these things are related to our own past karma, which is manifested through these planets. And these planets, when we're talking about Shani, who's Saturn, or Jupiter, who's Brihaspati, or Venus, who's Shukracharya, these are all very great servants of Krishna, and they're here to help us. Brihaspati, who we talk about in the Bhagavatam, is available through Krishna's mercy to each and every one of us to help us in our spiritual journey. Venus, who Shukracharya, is there to help us. Shanidev, who is Saturn, who we sometimes are fearful of, but who's actually a very amazing devotee of Lord Nrsimhadev, is here to help us on our spiritual journey. Krishna's made it so easy. Sometimes we think that, okay, here's me and here's Krishna, and let me go on this journey, and there's nothing in between. But there is thousands and millions of devotees and spiritual energies and people there to help you on that journey to bring you closer to Krishna. It's actually very powerful and amazing and humbling when we really sit down and think about, on our journey, the same great spiritual entities that are present in the Bhagavatam or talked about in the Vedas and the Puranas are there to help us.
Lord Shiva is looking after Raghunath. That much we know.
Yes, most
That's what
definitely.
one of my original astrologers told me.
Yeah.
But I
think-
have just one question about that. Maybe you've seen Raghunath's chart, Radhikesh Prabhu, correct?
I have. Yes.
Okay, let's get into that. What kind of
Um,
weaknesses does he have?
You can be frank. Tell him my strengths.
Uh,
tell him my weaknesses. What do you see?
I was just kidding.
I think Raghunath Prabhu is on. He's fulfilling his life's purpose in
He
the
is.
deepest way,
Very-
especially now continuing through the rest of his life. This focus is going to be very powerful. His path both widens and it becomes more focused at the same time. I'm just
Whoa.
waiting to see how this manifests as the years go
Very
on.
cool.
It's going to be beautiful.
Thank you, Prabhu. He knows every little detail about my chart.
I do.
Now, the real question is, what about me and Kastuba's relationship chart?
Oh, maybe we got to take
Why
the
are we
course.
so damn incompatible?
Are we compatible or uncompatible?
Yeah,
You
might have to do
guys are compatible at you're both doing this. So you guys are compatible at the deepest level and the most superficial level in every way. So
It's a little
like I
bumpy
said,
sometimes, but you know what I say about my
you're
relationship
adding a
with
little
Raghu?
spice.
We love each other deeply. We really do. And I'd like to say that our relationship is durable. It's like we can fight it out sometimes, but we never, and I think this is really the blessings. We fist fight sometimes. I think this is really the blessings of great souls in our lives, that it's given us the ability to understand, even if we disagree, even if it gets a hot sometimes, we love each other, and it's never worth walking away from this relationship, or saying things. You know what I'm saying? You feel that way, Raga?
Yeah, I do.
Even when you're really angry with me?
Yeah, I've got a deep friendship. We're like brothers.
Yeah.
You get
Like-
brothers.
Yeah,
Can
brothers
fight,
can
so
fight
we always
sometimes.
love each other.
Yeah, that's exactly like that.
Yeah. We don't
All
I
right,
think
brother.
anybody
We don't
who's
fight that
spent
much. You
any
get mad at
time
me
with
more than I don't get mad at you.
You do get mad at me. Get frustrated.
I get frustrated. You actually get mad. Remember you
I
wouldn't
think
talk to me for
anybody
3
who's
days.
spent even a little bit of time with you guys see how much you love each other. It's very
We
clear.
do. We
So,
like each other.
Yeah.
yeah.
And I get it. I'm sort of a wild card too. I can get frustrated with myself as well.
Okay.
He was just trying to be a good devotee, and he's got to deal with me all the time.
Okay.
All right. All right. Well, we're gonna look forward to that course. Radhikesh, we're gonna throw your Instagram thing on the. Maybe you should throw your Instagram thing on the on the chat board.
Okay. No
The
problem.
course is
Let
going to
me-
be for our supporting members. It's also a little enticement to become a supporting member. It's a community-supported podcast by going to wisdomofthesages.com and signing up. And yeah, it's a donation of your choice, above $5. Yeah, we're looking forward to that course. And you're a wealth of metaphysical information, Prabhu.
Thank you, bro.
Thank
There's
you,
my
Radhikesh. Love this guy.
Love him.
there's my let me
Oh, he's gonna put up his
in-
Instagram.
yeah, Instagram is Astrology by Radhikesh. you can also, radhikeshdas.com is my website. So people are,
Astrology by Radhikesh, Radhikesh.
Yeah, if you're looking for a good astrologer, just check out his website.
And-
And he's done a lot of people on this podcast as well. And everybody's like, that was amazing.
So
How
that
does
course
this guy know so much about me? Yeah, the
begins
course is
on
happening. What's the dates of the course, by the way?
we're going to be
Thursday-
starting,
July 11th. Is that correct?
Thursday, July 11th at 7 p.m. We'll be starting for 4
So you got a
weeks.
few weeks. So mark that off in your calendar and join up.
And if and join up, and we'll have that forever. They'll be sitting on our site forever. Looking forward to it,
Archived.
Prabhu. Thank you for joining us, Radhikesh.
Of
Love
course.
to your family.
Thank you so much. Thank
And
you,
we'll see
Prabhu.
you in Alachua or hopefully sooner. Harry Bull.
Yes, Hare Krishna.
I love him.
Great soul.
All right, you ready to dive in?
Yep.
Narayanam namaskrityanam chaivanarottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam mudirayat. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is our very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances to the Supreme Lord Narayan and to Narayan Rishi, the supremmost human being, and to Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and to Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta prayeshva badreshu nityam bhagavat sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam and by rendering service to the pure devotees, all that is troublesome to the heart will become eradicated, and loving service to the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, will be established as an irrevocable fact. Om Agyanatamarandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chaksurunmidatam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance. My teachers are opening my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my obeisances at their lotus feet. Reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 10, Text 50.
Yeah.
We're
The whole
in it.
list. Let's do a little recap. It's been a while since we've been spending time with the
I don't
Bhagavatam
even know
directly.
where we are.
Yeah, because we've had so many Q&A, we had Sachinandan Swami for 3 Q&As or an interview.
That was
with 2
wonderful, by
Q&As.
the way.
Wonderful, wonderful. So we're wrapping up the whole Prahlad story now. It's, as a matter of fact, it's wrapped up, but this is just kind of the final bow on it, I suppose you could say. And the conversations come up the level, up stage level, up to now we're back when we're no longer Prahlad speaking to Lord Vishnu as Lord Nrsingadev. We have the sage Narada speaking to the king Yudhishthir, who began this conversation 9 chapters back.
Basically telling stories within stories within stories.
Yes.
But
yes.
these narrators now are Narada and Yudhishthir, who is Arjuna's older brother.
Okay. And so as the Bhagavatam is, you could say, is prone to do, or does constantly, is designed to do, it's a text. Srimad Bhagavatam is just the most special of all texts. Grunta Raj, right? Like the
King of all books, it's called.
topmost, even of all of Vyasadev's ancient spiritual texts, like the Upanishads and the Vedas and the Mahabharata, amongst all of the Puranas. This is the Grunta. This is the Grunta Raj. This is the top of them all. Vyasa is going to express that himself. This is the work, his own work and his maturity, and it's the key. That maybe that's the most important thing to say. The Bhagavatam is the key to understanding it all. And when you take all of that literature, that wide range of literature that's designed to speak to different people on different platforms of understanding, speaking to some people who are very attached materially, speaking to some people that want to become detached but still have emotional issues that they're struggling with, it's presenting truth to them all, and on different levels. And when you look at it, it can be confusing as to figure, well, which one is the higher truth? Is it all leading in one direction?
It's so easy to get confused because it's
Yeah.
not like there's the Bible and you read the Bible and you'll be
Yes.
good. It's
Yeah.
like there's so many nuanced books to evolve on your spiritual journey within
Right.
the Indian canon of literature. But if you have to pick one, and there's people who do this, they just dedicate themselves to the Bhagavatam because it's the essence of all teaching.
And it's established within these texts itself that it is this that it is it's the cream of all of this literature. It's the work of Vyasadeva, the great sage who composed them all in his maturity. It was, and it's mentioned there that it was designed specifically by him or to answer all these questions. And so when you look at all these texts, you can say, well, how do we understand what God is? God just an energy, or is God a person? Well, the last text dealt with that. It said the impersonal Brahman, the impersonal spiritual energy, non-personal spiritual energy, that's Krishna himself, because Krishna is the source of the impersonal Brahman. He is the origin of the transcendental bliss sought by great saintly persons. So if you read these texts like the Upanishads, you get these sages that are focused on this non-personal aspect, saying Krishna's behind that. That was the last text was saying, right?
You know the way people work, Stuba? We work like it's right in front of us. So we think, well, it can't be this. It's got to be something more hidden. It's got to be something more secret. It's this. This is what you're actually looking for. Right. You know, Parmananda did this thing. He went all the way up an arduous trek up to the Himalayas to Badrinath. You know, in Badrinath, this is where the Bhagavatam was written. And in Badrinath, there's a cave, and there's a sadhu in the cave. He's like, oh my God, I'm all the way at the top of the Himalayas.
Perfect.
I'm right next to Ganesh's cave, and then there's the Badarik ashram. Goes in the cave, he meets the sadhu, and he was giving me some mystical information. And he's the sadhu said, "Go to Vrindavan and read the Bhagavatam." That's what it's like. Wait a second, I just came from Vrindavan.
Right.
We want it to be harder. We want it to be it shouldn't be this easy. It shouldn't just fall in our lap.
We need it to be easy. We need it to be easy.
Krishna and Lord Chaitanya made it super easy for us.
So text 4 dealt with the question of is God a person or not? Yes, God is energy and God is person, but behind the energy there's the person, and that's what and now this text 50 is well, what about we hear about all the different gods? There's so many of them. There's Lord Shiva, there's Lord Brahma, then there's Vishnu and Krishna.
Can be confusing.
So this text deals with that. And actually there's we're getting a quick story here at the very end. It's kind of thrown out there that really gives us a nice perspective on how wise people move through life. And it begins with this text 50.
Exalted persons like Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma could not properly describe the truth of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. May the Lord, who is always worshipped as the protector of all the devotees by great saints, who observe vows of silence, meditation, devotional service, and renunciation, be pleased with us.
Okay, so if we look at the last two verses, Narada, who's more capable? Oh, we haven't told people. This is Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 10. We're discussing right now text 49 and 50. Narada, who's more qualified than anyone, he's called the sage amongst the demigods. Right? Mm-hmm. So when it comes to talking about sages, or when it comes to talking about demigods, he is very qualified, and he's putting the Yudhishthira, we consider him a great sage, but he's a king, right? He's not one of these people that's wandered off into the mountains. He does that eventually at the end.
Yes, he does.
But at the at this stage, he thinks of himself as like a worldly man with worldly responsibilities that doesn't necessarily get the deep insights that the renowned sages get, that those that spend their hours practicing deep meditation, observing vows of silence, living a life of renunciation. He has a respect for that lifestyle and for the people that practice it in the realization. He has that humility to say, if someone's going there, they're likely they're churning deeper insights than I have. I need to hear from them. Now, Narada's saying, I get it that you have faith in those kind of people. Well, I'm telling you, in the previous one, he said, he was speaking about these saintly persons who seek transcendental bliss in their deep meditations. Here he's talking about, he says, the Lord who's always worshipped, he's the protector of the devotees and the great saints who observe vows of silence and meditation, devotional service and renunciation. So he's framing it in the context that Yudhishthira is capturing his attention. Okay, this is authentic. This is appreciated by deep thinkers and deeply spiritual practitioners. And he's saying Krishna is the person behind all the energy. And not only that, but the other gods, even Lord Brahma, even Lord Shiva, these are not ordinary beings, that they can't even properly describe Krishna. And now we get a very interesting story about Lord Shiva and his, you could say his dependence on Krishna, even though he's so powerful, even he's dependent on Krishna.
My dear King Yudhisthira, long, long ago in history, a demon known as Maya Danava, who was very expert in technical knowledge, reduced the reputation of Lord Shiva. In that situation, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, saved Lord Shiva. Mara, trivia question. Who was Maya Danava?
Mara,
Alex,
Ask
no?
Alex. I'm gonna
Alex.
pass stuff.
you'd know that, Mara.
Oh,
I've
The
heard you
architect
talk-
of the demon.
The architect of the demons. He
Yeah.
built the Maya Shaba.
So he knew all kind of technical, he could create things.
He could create these like mysterious fun houses. Sort of like you go to the fair and you go to the haunted house at a fair. That's what he would do.
And not only that, but he could create entire cities that would float in the air.
Yeah.
And that's what he's going to do here.
Mystical architect.
Yeah.
Anyway, he was very expert at technical knowledge, reduced the reputation of Lord Shiva. In that situation, Krishna saved Lord Shiva.
Okay.
Mars Yudhisthira said in his text 52. For what reason did the demon Mayadanava vanquish Lord Shiva's reputation? How did Lord Krishna save Lord Shiva and expand his reputation again? Kindly describe these incidents. Text 53.
Questions, right? Good questions.
Questions. Narada said, when the demigods, who were always powerful by the mercy of Lord Krishna, fought with the asuras, the demons, the asuras were defeated, and therefore they took shelter of Mayadanava, the greatest of the demons.
Okay.
Mayadanava, the great leader of the demons, prepared 3 invisible residences and gave them to the demons. These dwellings resembled airplanes made of gold, silver, and iron, and they contained uncommon paraphernalia. I wonder what that means.
Very uncommon stuff in there.
My dear, like what?
What did they have in there?
Statue of a golden turtle? What would it be? My dear King Yudhisthira, because of these 3 dwellings, the commanders of the demons remained invisible to the demigods. That's like the what movie is that with the invisible cloak? Harry Potter. It's like an
This is beyond a cloak. This is like
a cloak. It's a house.
It's not even a house. I think it's like it's a city, Raghunath.
It's a residence.
3 different cities that can float in the air and are invisible, and you can attack from those airplanes, if you want to call them that, these floating cities. Very
And they could
dangerous.
never find them. It wouldn't be great. Taking advantage of this opportunity, the demons, remembering their former enmity, began to vanquish the 3 worlds, the upper, middle, and lower planetary systems. They got an edge on them, on the good guys
They did.
right now.
Technological
Technical.
edge.
Yeah. Thereafter, when the demons had begun to destroy the higher planetary systems, the rulers of those planets went to Lord Shiva, fully surrendered unto him, and said, Dear Lord, we demigods living in the 3 worlds are about to be vanquished. We are your followers. Kindly save us.
Okay.
The most powerful and able Lord Shiva reassured them and said, Do not be afraid. He then fixed his arrows to his bow and released them towards the 3 residences occupied by those demons. The arrows released by Lord Shiva appeared like fiery beams emanating from the sun globe and covered the 3 residential airplanes. I guess they were airplanes, which could then no longer be seen. Huh. Attacked by Lord Shiva's golden arrows, all the demoniac inhabitants of those 3 dwellings lost their lives and fell down. Then the great mystic Mayadanava dropped the demons into a nectarian well that he had created.
Nectarian well.
Nectarian well. Delicious.
But hey, we're gonna quiz for you, hot seat for you.
Tell me.
What name does Lord Shiva get based on this Leela, this pastime?
Tripura.
Tripurari, right?
Tripurari,
which means
the killer of the 3 cities.
he's victorious over the 3 Puras, the 3 cities, right? Tripura.
Tripurari. Ari means the killer of. I
And he
think.
killed the 3
Destroyer
cities.
of- Destroyer of,
Yeah.
like Murari. Right?
Okay.
I'm no Sanskrit pundit. I know some of you may think I am.
Okay, so now the demons who they're playing, their cities just got knocked out of the air by Lord Shiva. They're all beaten up. As a matter of fact, they may even be dead. But their bodies are going to go into this nectar well.
Nectar well. I wonder how long you got to get them in the nectar well before they come back to life. Like, sorry, you can't. You already left. Like, what if he's already took birth?
Leave them in longer.
Well, yeah. Well, you know what? Maybe if a child dies, that's because they're getting sucked back into another body. Ever think about that?
Let's let's just keep reading here.
That could make a lot of sense.
It could. Then again, maybe not.
I knew a lady who had anyway,
No.
but she had a child die, and then for some reason she felt, and she had another baby, and she said it was the same child. I can't remember the clues. You know that story, Mara? Okay, forget it. When the dead body, it's just the child wasn't ready to come, and then he came.
Okay.
When the dead bodies of the demons came in touch with the nectar, their bodies became invisible to thunderbolts. Endowed with great strength, they got up like lightning, penetrating the clouds.
So now their bodies are stronger, more powerful
Than
than ever.
The nectar well. I want a nectar well. Seeing Lord Shiva very much aggrieved and disappointed, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu, considered how to stop this nuisance created by Maya Danava.
By the way, Raghunath, if you want a be careful what you desire, because you might have to take birth as a demon to get that nectar well. See how it works?
What have I done? I know. That's why you
What have I
need
done?
only have. That's why you need only have pure desires.
That's right. You don't need a nectar
Sometimes I
well.
pray for my children, like and I'd be like, you know what? No, maybe not. Don't pray for
Yeah.
them. Want them to become successful, happily married. Maybe it'll ruin their life if they're happily married. Maybe they'll forget about the main thing and just be caught up in the illusion of material existence.
Mm.
My only prayers now is, may these people be deeply connected to you, my
That's
Lord.
it. There you go.
That's my prayer. However, whatever recipe you come up with to make that happen. It's a
True.
recipe, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sometimes you see someone putting a lot of chili in a preparation. You think, well, there's going to be something spicy. No, there's a lot of sweetness in there. There's a lot of maybe it's just a little bit of spice, but you need to add a lot in the size of the quantity you're making. Sometimes we see some pain going on in people's lives, but it might be just the spice they need to get out of the material world.
Medicinal.
A medicinal spice to heal themselves from. There is an intoxicant in the material world that is just like, this material world is great. It's the intoxicant of good karma, and good karma can ruin your life.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. That's a regular takeaway on Wisdom of the Sages. Then Lord Brahma became a calf, and Lord Vishnu a cow. Oh, adorable. And at noon, they entered the residences and drank all the nectar in the well.
So the well was the problem now. Lord Shiva, I thought I took them down, and now they're right back.
The demons could see. I'm sorry.
So the answer to this is they approach Lord Vishnu. He says, we can take care of this. And in a creative way, he and Lord Brahma, very creative way.
Take this.
They're like, we're
I
going to
like how all this
drink up
stuff
the
could
nectar.
just be done. Just like, okay, God, kill the bad guys, done. But no, it's stretched out into different episodes and in this
It's
chapter,
Leela. It's how he has
that's
fun.
what Leela is, and we fall in love with it. Why? Because we like a good story. We like a good demon. We like a good hero. We like a good,
And Krishna enjoys playing that way.
and Krishna enjoys playing.
Which tells
and
us
we like
something about
hearing it.
him. Yeah. Okay.
The great mystic Mayadanava became aware that the demons could see the calf and the cow, but because of the illusion created by this energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the demons could not forbid them. The great
Did you
mystic
mention
Maya-
that they drank up the nectar in the well?
Yeah, they drank the nectar of the well. I don't know if they fell into the well. Like if I was to see a well and saw a little calf fall in the well.
Well, a well doesn't
How did he get
necessarily have
out
to
of the
have,
well?
as you've mentioned many times, a well doesn't necessarily have to have one of those stone walls around it. It could just.
I know, but it's still a well. How do you
They
get out of
found
the
a way.
well?
Maybe they had a straw, Raghunath. Somehow they drank it.
A big half straw. Put the calf in the basket.
Okay. The demons could see the
The
calf and the
demons
cow.
could see the calf and cow, but because of the illusion created by the energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the demon cannot forbid them.
So they're just
Great.
sitting there like, whoa, look at that
All right.
cow.
Calf
What are they
and cow are going into
drinking
the
all the
well and
nectar?
mystically climbing out of a well. I've never seen anybody climb out of a well, but they're doing it. And they don't even have any gripping digits. in their
Hold it, all the
hooves.
nectar's gone now.
It seems like they drank a lot of nectar. I didn't even know they drank nectar. The great
they're
mystic
gonna use it.
Mahayana became aware that the calf and the cow were drinking the nectar, and he could understand this to be the unseen power of providence. Ever have that going on where you realize, you know what? This is just the way it's going to happen, and this is
Well,
it. The
Raghunath,
unseen power of providence.
you're getting right to the lesson, I think, that comes through this story.
Yeah. I mean, this
'Cause now
happens to all of us. We all have like some agenda, and then all of a sudden the universe is like, nope, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And then you have to, then you get frustrated and you're like, what? Why? No. And you're like, yes. Okay.
Well, we'll read this and read the next verse, and I think this is going to speak to what you're bringing up.
Thus he spoke to the demons who were grievously lamenting. Here's what Mayadhanava, the chief of the demonic architects. Trivia question, Mara, who is the architect of the demigods? Mara? It was mentioned already on the show. Oh, no, it wasn't.
Alex, I gotta pass this off. And
Oh,
Vishvakarma.
Alex gets it. Vishvakarma.
That's right.
Mayadhanava said, that's twice, Mara. That's twice today. 3
You're on
strikes.
vacation.
You're out.
You know, she's on vacation,
Alex
she's
gonna replace me
shopping,
now.
she's
Come on,
bronzing.
God.
She's like, what do I get for this anyway?
Let's get real
It-
great.
Mara, you know, it's not all about the suntan, okay? All right?
Road rage is chanting and listening at the same time, offending both the holy name and the Bhagavatam at once. Congratulations. Okay.
What did
Mayadhanava said, what has been destined by the Supreme Lord for oneself, for others, or for both oneself and others, cannot be undone anywhere or by anyone, whether one be a demigod, a demon, or a human being, or anyone else.
Okay, that right there is an interesting statement, right? He's already shown us the kind of power that he has. Like, we have very, like, again, if I said to Raghunath, wow, this Mayadhanava really has got some creative abilities. What can you create? Like, he just created 3 cities that fly in the air invisibly. Can you create anything? No, I can create. And I don't. And what would you do to compete with it?
Make a
Huh?
smoothie.
I made
can
a
make a smoothie.
little
That's
brick
about it.
wall. I can make a
Make a
smoothie.
stone wall. That's about it.
Stone
Smoothies
wall.
and stone walls. That's all I got.
So he's got practically for us inconceivable creative power, inconceivable material influence, but he's capable of saying, you know what? Our ability to manipulate the material energy is very limited. And if the higher power wants to undo it, it's going to be undone no matter how hard we try. And this is kind of like I think for many people, that sounds self-defeating. And I think in the world that we live in today, our thinking is so mixed up, has become so mixed up, is that if we don't like how it feels, we say it can't be true. You know, it's like, oh, that can't be true. Why not? Because I don't like, you know, I'm not giving you a logical argument as to why it can't be true. It can't be true because I don't like the outcome. And I might not even understand the outcome, but I don't like the feeling of the outcome, so it can't be true. And this is kind of where that stoicism, you know, like say, there's a stoicism within the jnana, you know, the knowledge of these Vedic literatures that helps us to kind of learn to bypass this kind of logical malfunction. You know, and because if we're going to be objective and step back and look at our own position in this world, it might be psychologically comforting to say, I can change my own destiny as much as I want.
Sure.
And I can create aphorisms to support that conviction.
I am
But is-
powerful. I am free. I'm healthy. I'm strong. I am loved.
I am beautiful.
I am abundance.
I-
I am abundance. I'm
I
receiving
am God.
wealth now. It is all my dreams are being fulfilled.
Right. But like imagine if we woke up in a very very realistic virtual reality that was being intentionally operated by somebody outside the virtual reality.
Okay.
And every adjustment that we made within that virtual world was ultimately subjected to their will, right? They might allow it to happen or they might not allow it to happen.
Yeah.
And we denied that reality. And with bravado, we declared, I have the power to change this world. From the higher perspective, from the wider perspective, we say this person is never going to get out of this trap because they have this psychological disposition to feel the need to feel that they have control beyond the actual scope that they do have control over. Whereas a wiser person can say, perhaps I'm caught in a trap, right? Perhaps my abilities are limited. And so this is what Prabhupada writes in the commentary. He says, the Supreme Lord is one, Krishna, the Vishnu Tattva. Okay, there's someone that's operating that has the ability. They may grant free will, but ultimately they have the ability over the reality that we're existing in. Krishna, the Vishnu Tattva. Meaning Vishnu means the one that penetrates within the virtual reality that we're living in, right? And it maintains it, has a full control over it.
Sure.
Krishna expands himself into Vishnu Tattva, personal expansions, Sphangsa, this is technical language, who control everything, right? 3 different levels of Lord Vishnu. They enter into the material realm, they enter into each universe, they enter into every living being and every atom. Now Mayadanava said, however I plan, you plan, or the both of us plan, the Lord has planned what is to happen.
Sure.
No one's plan will be successful without his sanction. Our plan may be successful, it may not be successful, but it requires the sanction of the Vishnu Tattva, of the operator of the virtual reality. Then Prabhupada writes, we may make our own various plans, but unless they are sanctioned by the Supreme Personality Godhead Vishnu, they will never be successful. Hundreds and millions of plans are made by all kinds of living entities, but without the sanction of the Supreme Lord, they're futile.
Just
This,
like
I was just gonna say, this may sound self-defeating. It's not. It's actually self-empowering. It's understanding the reality in which we operate and then learning how to best operate with that understanding.
when I was younger, not that younger, but I think 17, I saved up my money and bought like a full-blown asteroids game. You know, you put quarters in.
Like
I got one
like
for
the
super
video
cheap.
games that they
Yeah,
would have in
like
the
the
pizza parlor or
back-
something?
Yeah, like that. I got it for like $250, and we just play that thing. And when do you remember playing video games? You're like, like, and you're like, and like all of a sudden the asteroids are getting bigger and bigger, and you're getting more and more freaked out. And your heart rate is going up, and you're more and more excited. And then my father would just get so sick of me, just like, game's over, and he'd come out and just unplug
Pull
the
the
entire
plug.
machine.
You're like,
So here is me, the living entity, willingly choosing illusion, creating excited heartbeats, feelings of victory, feelings of death and destruction. I just lost one ship. I got one ship left. And then all of a sudden, the Supreme Controller just says the whole damn thing's over and just unplugs it.
That's
There
right.
you go.
So yeah, and so it might sound like it's imagining ourselves to be very weak. Really, what it does is it gets us on the platform of reality, and from that platform, discovering just how powerful the soul is, just our eternality, and what the deepest mystics, what they relish contemplating, is that even we possess a power, the self, the tiny little spark, tiny infinitesimal little spark of spiritual energy, actually possesses a power more powerful than the God, and that's love. Because love even influences God. It even moves God. It even makes God
interesting,
one's
isn't it?
servant, right? So don't think that taking this little bitter pill is just going to make life bitter and miserable, and you're weak now. It's just you need a dose of reality to begin to understand just how powerful you are, and Bhakti uncovers that.
We're dose of reality. Hardcore from Stockholm.
Hardcore. Do they speak like that in Stockholm when they're in a
They've got
hardcore
their
band?
version. Stockholm. I'm with Alex right now in Kentucky. They've got
Let's
their
hear
own
like the
version of
hardcore
gangsters, right?
gangster Stockholm guy
Like
speaks.
Alex rolled with the gangster guys. They all sort of like
Did he?
rip-offs of American gangster thug guys, right?
He has to come over and talk.
Okay, you got to talk into the microphone. No one understands you're crazy. No, come here.
There he is.
This is Alex, second generation devotee.
He's a fine young gentleman.
Yeah.
Good
so
devotee.
What do you want me to say?
I don't know. Forget it. We were going nowhere with this.
We don't always plan these
Yeah.
shows.
We got to wind this up, but I love you, Alex. Alex
Great
came
stuff.
to me to Indy when he was, 16 years old. Now he's
Okay.
20.
You're rudderless right now.
Come on, help me out, Kostuba. Bring
I
me
think
back on
I
track.
need now's the time to go to Mara. I think we wrap the show up.
All right.
Yeah, Mara, wrap it up. Get your.
I think Mara
pretty
is
face.
Raghunath
Pretty
been like a lot of pizza, maybe a lot of
Raghunath's
gelato. He's just slowing
skipping
down. a
breakfast
little bit.
every
No.
morning.
All right.
He's a new man. He's changed.
Really?
European Raghunath is a different version.
Is it?
Croatian Raghunath is much more self-controlled, pleasant to speak to.
I thought it was just
deeply
like
thoughtful.
I thought you went there for the sense gratification, like the beach and the
No,
pizza. And no,
I go there for Satvagun.
I
That's
see.
why I hang out with Road Rage.
The
Okay.
epitome of Satvagun. Right
I
there.
go there for Sephagoon. That's why I hang out with Road
It's
Rage.
like Sadhana house here, Prabhu.
It's a
I
sadhana house.
see.
We were doing puja this morning with Banu Nandini. Me and Prabhu.
Oh,
were
Banu's there
chanting
with
bhajan.
you?
Banu's with us.
Look at
Yeah.
you guys.
Kanai Lal is here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was great running to Bruna the other day.
I know.
Yeah, that was the first
She's
time
so
I met
old
her.
school.
I saw her in London briefly last year. I saw her in Villa Vrindavan briefly this year.
Okay, squirrel, come back.
Just...
I don't give him an inch of squirreldom.
All right,
All right.
Maraji, hit it.
Anyways,
Yeah.
the planets and demigods are here to help us reach Krishna.
Oh,
Yeah, they're friends. Demigods are your friends.
Radhika is like,
Bhagavatam?
yes, that's correct.
Yes, yes, I've
Nodding over
agreed.
there.
The Bhagavatam is the key to understanding it all.
It's the key.
It's the key.
It unlocks it.
Be careful what you wish for. Don't desire the nectar well.
Unless the next
Careful
well
with
can
that
help you get close to God.
Imagine if Raghunath took birth in a demon lineage and had a nectar well. He's like, but he understood. I blew it. I had this
blew it.
desire.
I desired that.
Get a treasure chest under.
What have I done?
There's an intoxicant of good karma, and good karma can ruin your life.
Mhm.
Fall in love with Krishna's Leela.
There you
So
go.
can like youth and beauty. Youth and beauty
Oh.
is one of the greatest intoxicants, isn't it?
I
When
wouldn't
you're young and
know.
beautiful?
Our agenda can be turned upside down by the unseen power of Providence.
In a moment.
In a moment.
Look at young Alex. He's young. He's beautiful. Everything's going great, Alex.
Don't you? Do you see? Look at that ego right
See?
there. Flex.
There he is. He's lost.
He's lost.
Swept
He's
away
gone.
swept away by the waves of the ego.
Straighten that young man out, Raghunath. Straighten him out.
Okay. Continue on.
We need the Lord's sanction for our plans to be successful.
You do.
Yeah.
Bhak-
Man proposes and God laughs,
Mm,
Disposes.
says Johannes from Norway. Norway's like, get to the bottom of this. Is Norway Sweden's actual enemy? Do you guys have like something with Norway?
Yeah. We
Yeah.
but we band together against Denmark.
Yeah, no one likes those guys. No, I'm just totally joking. But yeah,
The Danes.
the Danes. Okay. Continue on.
Bhakti uncovers the dose of reality.
Okay.
And
Johannes says for sure.
The enemy of my enemy and all that.
The enemy of my
We hate the
enemy.
Danes.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Okay.
reality is the supreme controller can pull the plug at any moment.
Yeah. right off of my asteroids game.
Mhm.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. Here, live from Split, Croatia. And check it out. The pilgrimage is filling up. Going to India with me, Kostuba, and Mara this October. If you're interested, go to raghunath.yoga, RAGHUNATH.yoga, and go under pilgrimages. And Nepal, too, is also filling up. But that is happening. Join us in India. We're going to go to Haridwar and Rishikesh and Udaipur and Jagannath Puri.
What time are we back tomorrow, Mary?
We can't do the show tomorrow.
No show tomorrow.
No show tomorrow.
Oh,
You gotta- can you get somebody tomorrow?
oh, this is late notice, and I got the Rona. You throwing this
it's
on me?
the calendar that you were thinking about getting a guest person. But you've been
It's on the calendar.
Was it on the calendar?
On the count. Check the calendar. Kostuba.
No, now they're throwing it back at me. So that means we're back on Saturday?
Well, not Saturday.
Oh, get out of here.
Well, no, we have to do it at 3:30.
Okay, can we change the time? If we did it European time, then it'd be 9 a.m.
9 a.m. on Saturday.
9 a.m. Eastern time on Saturday.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Okay, note that down, people. Nityananda Chandra, 9 a.m.
Extra
Saturday.
sleep in Saturday. They get
That's
extra-
another
extra.
reason to become a
Stay up
supporter
later
member.
on Friday. And really sleep on Saturday. Okay, now for a day with hanging out with Road Rage. The kids are all at the beach. I don't know where anybody is. And I tell you, this Govinda Priya, she's trying to make me fat. Just cooking and cooking and cooking.
I got a question on where's Lori Pag?
She's actually in Split proper. We're gonna hang out with them today because there's a film festival that Velcro and Road Rage got made a little mini film they're gonna film. It's outside in the
They
most.
won this really big award, like the People's Award of Croatia for this film.
Yeah. Getting trophies tonight, perhaps making speeches. Anyway, we're impressed with them.
All right.
Thanks everybody for joining us. I know it's an erratic schedule. We really appreciate it. And we are going to get out of here because it's 100 degrees. But we love you. It's a beautiful day for a beautiful day. Alex, anything to say?
Hey, Mara, who do I send the show to? Do I send it to you or do I send it to Linda?
It's me.
Okay. Both.
Thanks, Radhika. We're looking forward to your course.